Welcome back everyone. Today we are going to start chapter 10 Respiration in Organisms. One day Bojo was eagerly waiting to meet his grandparents who were coming to the town after a year. He was in a real hurry as he wanted to receive them at the bus stop. He ran fast and reached the bus stop in a few minutes. He was breathing rapidly. His grandmother asked him why he was breathing so fast. Bojo told her that he came running all the way, but the question got stuck in his mind. He wondered why running makes a person breathe faster. The answer to Bojo's question lies in understanding why we breathe. Breathing is the part of respiration. Let us learn about respiration. 10.1 Why do we respire? In chapter 2, you learned that all organisms are made of small microscopic unit called cells. So in chapter 2, we have learned that all the organisms are made of small units called cell. A cell is the smallest structural and functional unit of an organism. So cell is the smallest structure and functional unit of an organism. Each cell of an organism performs certain functions such as nutrition, transport, excretion and reproduction. To perform these functions, the cell needs energy. So all this function needs energy. Even when we are eating, sleeping or reading, we require energy. So all our activities, we need energy. But where does the energy comes from? Can you say why your parents insist that you should eat regularly? The food has stored energy, which is released during respiration. So food has stored energy and it is released during respiration. Therefore, all living organisms respire to get energy from food. So all living organisms respire for getting energy from the food. During breathing, we breathe in air. You know that air contains oxygen. So when we breathe air, and in air there are oxygen. We breathe out air which is rich in carbon dioxide. The air we breathe in is respirated to all parts of the body and ultimately to each cell. In the cell, oxygen in the air helps in the breakdown of food. So in the cell, oxygen help to break down the food. The process of breakdown of food in the cell with the release of energy is called cellular respiration. Cellular respiration takes place in the cell of all organisms. So cellular respiration takes place in all the organisms. In the cell, the food glucose is broken down into carbon dioxide and water using oxygen. When breakdown of glucose occurs with the use of oxygen, it is called aerobic respiration. So when the breakdown of glucose occurs with the use of oxygen, it is called aerobic respiration. Food can also be broken down without using oxygen. This is called anaerobic respiration. Breakdown of food release energy. So you can see here, glucose is breaking down in the presence of oxygen in the form of carbon dioxide plus water plus energy. You should know that there are some organisms such as yeast that can survive in the absence of air. So yeast can survive in the absence of air. They are called anaerobes. They get energy through anaerobic respiration. In the absence of oxygen, glucose breaks down into alcohol and carbon dioxide. You can see here, glucose in the absence of oxygen gives alcohol plus carbon dioxide plus energy. So in the above one, the water is replaced by alcohol in anaerobic respiration. Yeast are single-celled organisms. They respire anaerobically and during this process yield alcohol. They are therefore used to make wine and beer. Our muscle cells can also respire anaerobically, but only for a short time. When there is a temporary deficiency of oxygen during heavy exercise, fast running, cycling, walking for many hours or heavy lifting, the demand for energy is high, but the supply of oxygen to produce the energy is limited. Then anaerobic respiration takes place in the muscle cells to fulfill the demand of the energy. So it is clear, and anaerobic respiration takes place when there is a need of higher energy. So it takes place in the muscle cells to fulfill the demand of energy. So glucose in muscles in the absence of oxygen will produce lactic acid plus energy. So lactic acid is a form of protein. During Energy. During exercise, some muscles may respire anaerobically. So here is the figure of a person running. Have you ever wondered why you get muscle cramps after heavy exercise? The cramps occurs when muscle cells respires anaerobically. So when the muscle cell respires anaerobically, there are cramps. The partial breakdown of glucose produces lactic acid. The accumulation of lactic acid causes muscle cramps. We get relief from cramps after a hot water bath or a massage. Can you guess why it is so? Hot water bath or massage improves circulation of blood. So when there is circulation of blood, the cramps get, you get relief from the cramps. Can you guess why it is so? No. As a result, the supply of oxygen to the muscle cells increases. So the supply of oxygen to the muscle cells increases. The increase in the supply of oxygen result in the complete breakdown of lactic acid into carbon dioxide and water. So when this happens, the lactic acid is broken down into carbon dioxide and water. So 10.2 breathing. Activity 10.1, do this activity under the supervision of your teacher. Close your nostrils and mouth tightly and look at a watch. Why did you feel after some time? How long were you able to keep both of them closed? Note down the time for which you could hold your breath in figure 10.2. So now you know that you cannot survive for long without breathing. So we have to breathe continuously. You cannot keep you cannot stop breathing for some time. After some time you must have to breathe. Breathing means taking in air rich in oxygen and giving out air rich in carbon dioxide with the help of respiratory organs. So this is the process of breathing. The taking in of air rich in oxygen into the body is called inhalation, and giving out of the air rich in carbon dioxide is known as exhalation. So when we breathe in, it is inhalation, and when we breathe out carbon dioxide, it is exhalation. It is a continuous process which goes on all the time and throughout the life of an organism. So this is a continuous process and we breathe in our whole life. The number of times a person breathes in a minute is termed as the breathing rate. So in a minute, how many times you breathe is the breathing rate. During breathing, inhalation and exhalation takes place alternatively. A breath means one inhalation plus one exhalation. So a single breath is one inhalation plus one exhalation. Would you like to find out your breathing rate? Do you want to know whether it is constant or it changes according to the requirement of oxygen by the body? Let us find out by doing the following activity. In the activity 10.2, generally we are not aware that we are breathing. However, if you try, you can count your rate of breathing. Breathe in and breathe out normally. Find out how many times you breathe in and breathe out in a minute. Did you inhale the same number of time as you exhaled? Now count your breathing rate, number of breath per minute after brisk walk or running. Record your breathing rate as soon as you finish and after complete rest. Tabulate your findings and compare your breathing rate under different conditions with those of your classmates. So Bojo noticed that when he released his breath after holding it for some time, he had to breathe heavily. Can you tell him why it is so? So here is 10.1 table, changes in breathing rate under the different conditions. So you can name your classmate's name and normally how many times he is breathing, and after 10 minutes of brisk walk and running for 100 meters and at rest. So you can calculate the breathing rate. From the above activity, you must have realized that whenever a person needs extra energy, he or she breathes faster. As a result, more oxygen is supplied to a cell. It speeds up the breakdown of food and more energy is released. Does this explain why do we feel hungry after a physical activity? When you feel drowsy, does your breathing rate slow down? Does your body receive sufficient oxygen? On an average, an adult human being at rest breathes in and breathes out 15 to 18 times in a minute. During heavy exercise, the breathing rate can increase up to 25 times per minute. While we exercise, not only do we breathe fast, we also take deep breaths and thus inhale more oxygen. So when we are doing exercise, we inhale more oxygen and it is up to 25 times per minute. Activity 10.3. Figure 10.3 shows the various activities carried out by a person during a normal day. Can you say in which activity the rate of breathing will be the slowest and in which it will be the fastest? Assign numbers to the pictures in the order of increasing rate of breathing according to your experience. So here is the figure. A woman is washing clothes, a person is sleeping, a person is walking, and a girl is running, and a student is studying, and a laborer is climbing a stair. So you can arrange the pictures according to the rate of breathing they are taking in. How do we breathe? Let us now learn about the mechanism of breathing. Normally we take in air through our nostrils. When we inhale air, it passes through our nostrils into the nasal cavity. So when we breathe, the air passes through our nostrils to the nasal cavity. From the nasal cavity, the air reaches our lungs through the windpipe. So from the windpipe, the air reaches the lungs, and lungs are present in the chest cavity. In figure 10.4, it is shown this cavity is surrounded by ribs on the side. A large muscular sheet called diaphragm forms the floor of the chest cavity. In figure 10.4, it is shown breathing involves the movement of the diaphragm and the rib cage. So the movement is called the breathing. During inhalation, ribs moves up and outwards and diaphragm moves down. So during inhalation, ribs moves up and outwards and diaphragm moves down. This movement increases space in our chest cavity and air rushes into the lungs. So because of this movement, there is space in our chest cavity and air rushes into our lungs. The lungs get filled with air. During exhalation, ribs moves down and inwards, while diaphragm moves up to its former position. This reduces the size of the chest cavity and air pushed out of the lungs. In figure 10.5, it is shown these movements in our body can be felt easily. Take a deep breath. Keep your palm on your abdomen. Feel the movement of abdomen. What do you find? After having learned that during breathing there are changes in the size of the chest cavity, children got involved in the chest expansion competition. Everyone was boasting that she or he could expand it the maximum. How about doing this activity in the class with your classmate? Smoking damages lungs. Smoking is also linked to cancer. It must be avoided. So no one should smoke. It is very dangerous. So you can see here, it is the nasal passage and this is our oral passage. So we take in air from our nasal passage and the air passes through this and it reaches the lungs, and these are the ribs and these are the diaphragm. So you can see it in the diagram. So it is the inner part of the lungs and it is surrounded by the rib cage. The air around us has various types of unwanted particles such as smoke, dust, pollens, etc. When we inhale, the particles get trapped in the hair present in our nasal cavity. So when we inhale, the particles get trapped in the hair that are in our nasal cavity. However, sometimes this particle may get past the hair in the nasal cavity. Sometimes this dust particle enters through our nasal cavity. This may irritate the lining of the cavity, as a result of which we sneeze. Sneezing expels the foreign particles from the inhaled air and a dust-free clean air enters in our body. So the sneezing is our natural response of our body to eject this dust and unwanted particles. So take care when you sneeze. You should cover your nose with that so that the foreign particles you expel are not inhaled by another person. So this is a note for a person. You should cover your nose when you sneeze. Activity 10.4. Take a deep breath. Measure the size of the chest with a measuring tape. So take a deep breath and measure it with a measuring tape. In figure 10.6 it is shown. And record your observation in table 10.2. Measure the size of the chest again when expanded and indicate which classmate shows the maximum expansion of chest. We can understand the mechanism of breathing by a simple model. In activity 10.5, take a white plastic bottle, remove the bottom, get a Y-shaped glass or plastic tube. Make a hole in the lid so that the tube may pass through it. To the forked end of the tube fixed to deflated balloons. Introduce the tube into the bottle as shown in figure 10.7. Now cap the bottle, seal it to make it airtight. To the open base of the bottle, tie a thin rubber band or plastic sheet using a rubber band. So you can see here, so this is the lungs and air is drawn in from here and ribs moves out and the diaphragm moves down. So the chest is expanded and air rushes into the lungs. So when we exhale, so air is forced out, the diaphragm moves up and the rib cages, the ribs will move back inside. So it is the mechanism of breathing in human being. So in table 10.2, effects of breathing on the chest size of some classmates. So you can name the classmate name. During inhalation, size of the chest, and during exhalation also you can write, and difference in size. So he is measuring the chest of his friend. To understand the expansion of the lungs, pull the rubber sheet from the base downward and watch the balloon. Next, push the rubber plastic sheet up and observe the balloon. Do you see any change in the balloons? What do the balloons in the model represent? What does the rubber sheet represent? Now you should be able to explain the mechanism of breathing. So what do we breathe out? In activity 10.6, take a slender, clean test tube or a glass or plastic bottle. Make a hole in the lid and fix it on the bottle. Pour some freshly prepared lime water in the test tube. Insert a plastic straw through the hole in the lid in such a way that it dips in the lime water. Now blow gently through the straw a few times. In figure 10.8 it is shown. Is there a change in the appearance of lime water? Can you explain the change on the basis of what you have learned in chapter 6? You are aware that air we inhale or exhale is a mixture of gases. So we know that the air is a mixture of gases. What do we exhale? Do we exhale only carbon dioxide or a mixture of gases along with it? So you must be wondering what we exhale. You must have also observed that if you exhale on a mirror, a film of moisture appears on the surface. From where did these droplets come? Bojo want to know how much air a person can hold in the lungs. So this was the experiment. So here is a plastic bottle and it is corked, and a Y-shaped pipe is fixed in it, and two balloons are there, and there is a rubber sheet. So here also you can see the balloon is deflated when the rubber is pulled up. So this model to show the mechanism of breathing. Breathe for better life. Regular traditional breathing exercise pranayam can increase the capacity of lungs to take in more air. Thus more oxygen can be supplied to the body cells, resulting in the release of more energy. So the pranayam is a type of yoga. So you can do that to increase your capacity of lungs. So here is a figure 10.8, effects of exhaled air on the lime water. So a student is exhaling air with a straw in lime water. So the presence of oxygen and carbon dioxide in inhaled and exhaled air. So in inhaled air 21% oxygen is there and 0.04% carbon dioxide, and when we exhale there is 16.4% of oxygen and 4.4% of carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide percentage is increased. In 10.5, breathing in other animals. Animals such as elephant, lions, cows, goats, frogs, lizards, snakes, birds have lungs in their chest cavity like the human being. So all these animals have the lungs in their cavity, chest cavity. How do other organisms breathe? Do they also have lungs like those of human being? Let us know. A cockroach. Cockroach has small opening on the side of its body. So the cockroaches have small openings in their body. Other insects also have the similar opening. Bojo want to know if cockroaches, snails, fish, earthworms, ants and mosquitoes also have lungs. These openings are called spiracles. In figure 10.9 it is shown. Insects have a network of air tube called tracheas for gas exchange. Oxygen rich air rushes through spherical into the tracheal tubes, diffuse into the body tissue, and reaches every cell of the body. Similarly, carbon dioxide from the cell goes into the tracheal tubes and move out through spiracles. These air tubes or tracheas are found only in insect and not in any other type of or any other group of animals. So you can see these are tracheas here in the body of a cockroach. No, it is a body of a, I think it looks like a caterpillar. So in the earthworm, recall from chapter 9 of class 6th, the earthworms breathe through their skin. The skin of an earthworm feels moist and slimy on touching. Gases can easily pass through them. So the gases pass through their skin. Though frogs have a pair of lungs like human being, they can also breathe through their skin, which is moist and slippery. So their skin is also moist and slippery. Bojo has seen in television programs that whales and dolphins often come up to the water surface. They even release a fountain of water sometimes while moving upward. Why do they do so? In section 10.6, breathing underwater. Can we breathe and survive in water? There are many organisms which live in water. How do they breathe underwater? So we have all seen that there are many organisms in the water. They breathe inside water, but a human being cannot stay inside water for a long time. You have studied in class 6 that gills in a fish help them to use oxygen dissolved in water. So the gills of the fishes helps them to helps them to use oxygen dissolved in water. Gills are projections on the skin. So you can see here, these are the gills in a fish body. You may wonder how gills help in breathing. Gills are well supplied with blood vessels. So these are supplied with blood vessels. In figure 10.10 we are watching this. Exchanges of gases takes place here. So breathing organ in a fish. In 10.7, do plants also respire? Like other living organisms, plants also respire for their survival. As you have learnt in class 6, they also take in oxygen from the air and give out carbon dioxide. In the cells, oxygen is used to break down glucose into carbon dioxide and water as in other organisms. So in the cells, oxygen is used to break down glucose into carbon dioxide. In plants, each part can independently take in oxygen from the air and give out carbon dioxide. So every part of the plant independently take in oxygen and give out carbon dioxide. You have already learned in chapter 1 that the leaves of the plants have tiny pores called stomata for exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide. So through stomata, which is a small opening in the leaves of the plant, are helpful for the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Paheli wants to know whether roots which are underground also take in oxygen. If so, how? Like all other living cells of the plant, the root cells also need oxygen to generate energy. Roots take up air from the air spaces present between the soil particles. So between the soil particle there are oxygens and the root take in oxygen from here. So you can see there are air spaces and there is root inside the soil. So roots absorb air from the soil. Can you guess what would happen if a potted plant is overwatered? In this chapter, you learned that respiration is a vital biological process. All living organisms need to respire to get the energy needed for their survival. So in a nutshell, we will see what we have learned so far. Respiration is essential for survival of living organisms. It releases energy from the food. The oxygen we inhale is used to break down glucose into carbon dioxide and water. Energy is released in the process. The breakdown of glucose occurs in the cell of an organism, cellular respiration. So when there is breakdown of glucose in the cell, it is called cellular respiration. If the food is broken down with the use of oxygen, it is called aerobic respiration. If the breakdown occurs without the use of oxygen, the respiration is called anaerobic respiration. During heavy exercise, when the supply of oxygen to our muscle cells is insufficient, food breakdown is by anaerobic respiration. Breathing is a part of the process of respiration during which an organism takes in the oxygen rich air and gives out air rich in carbon dioxide. The respiratory organs for the exchange of gases vary in different organisms. During the inhalation, our lungs expand and then comes back to the original state as the air moves out during exhalation. Increased physical activity enhances the rate of breathing. So when we increase our physical activity, it enhances the rate of breathing. In animals like cows, buffaloes, dog and cat, the respiratory organs and the process of breathing are similar to those of humans. So in cows, buffalo, dog and cat, they have same respiratory system like the human. In earthworms, the exchange of gases occurs through the moist skin. In fishes, it takes place through gills, and in insect through the tracheas. In a plant, the roots take in air present in the soil. Leaves have tiny pores called stomata through which they exchange gases. The breakdown of glucose in the plant cells is similar to that of other living beings. So here our chapter 10 is finished, and the next chapter we will study in next class. Thank you.